A very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes, sir.
Aditya, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please text yes or no. Please text yes or no. Okay. Now, please text. Can you hear me now? Please tell me. I want to check your sound. Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, we will continue. So in the last class, we have completed that lesson. So today, we begin the new lesson, the making of a scientist. Am I right? Making of a scientist. This page, lesson number 6, page number 32. Page number 32. Making of a scientist. This is a very good lesson. It should be practiced it should be practiced, or in this lesson, each one of you should be a participant. Each one of you should be a participant.
Yes, sir.
It is a story of a boy who had a very good hobby, and through the hobby, he developed into the level of, he developed himself, he nourished himself into the level of a scientist. So let us see how the growth is seen, how he improved himself in this level. Richard Ebright in the box. Richard Ebright has received the Searle Scholar Award and the Shering-Plough Award for biochemistry and molecular biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him. So the world of science opened to him through butterflies. Butterflies, thank you. So let us see. At the age of 22, a former Scout of the Year excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. See, here, Richard Ebright was not a science student. He was not a scientist. He was a sports person. He was a scout member. So he was a scout of the year. He was awarded the scout of the year. But he excited at his age of 22. He excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. Richard H. Ebright and his college roommate explained the theory in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. See, there was a magazine. In that magazine, he wrote the article. He wrote an article. And from there, his life starts. So, Ebright and his college roommate explained the theory of cell work. Explained a theory on cell work in an article in the magazine, in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was the first time this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college students. You see, Proceedings of the National Academy of Science is a journal, is a magazine published by scientists, and in that magazine, in that journal, only the articles written by scientists would be published. But it was for the first time an article written by college students was published. So you can imagine how much depth was there in that article. In sports, that would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time a bat. You see, it is a particular way of scoring the score in baseball. That is what is called a home run. Particular name given to that home run. So if a boy at his age of 15, if he make home run in big league matches, that would be something important. Now you have seen in Olympics that the great sportsman Neeraj Chopra, he made his record, he made his medal with his first throw. With his first throw, he made sure that the gold medal is in his hands. You see, we feel proud of him because it was an unreachable area for Indians to get a medal in sports, athletics. So that is also with a single throw, he is qualified. In this way, when a boy of 15 enters league, famous teams, and he gets in cricket, in his first match itself, if you are getting a century, how it will be there? In an international 2020 matches, if one boy gets Arjun, suppose Arjun is in Indian 2020 team. Do you play cricket, man? Do you like cricket? In India 2020, he is playing with Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli sent him as an opening batsman. Arjun is the opening batsman. And Arjun was never out of the crease. He was batting and he made his first game, first innings, first century. So how it will be, man? First international match at the age of 13 or 14 and with a century. How it would be? How it would be? Savio? Suppose Savio was a good bowler and Virat Kohli sending him in the first over itself, first ball, first wicket. You see, next day in the newspaper, 2 photos will be there, full-size photos. Arjun and Savio standing there, isn't it? The heroes of Indian 2020. You see, just think about that. Just think about, in this way, a boy of 15 who makes a home run in the baseball. For Richard Ebright, it was the first in a long string of achievements in science and other fields. So for Richard Ebright, it was the first in a long string of achievements in science and other fields, and it all started with butterflies. So Richard, who was a scout, began his search, began his scientific life or science, began his science research with the butterflies. It was his beginning. He was working on cells. And only child, Ebright, grew up north of Reading, Pennsylvania. So he is from Pennsylvania. His hometown was Reading. There wasn't much I could do there, he said. He said, Pennsylvania, or Reading is a small town. There I had nothing to do with. There wasn't much I could do there. I certainly couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one. So he could not join any team there, either in football or in baseball. But there was one thing I could do, collect things, a hobby. So he was living in Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania. Reading is the name of proper place in Pennsylvania. He says that though I am a scout, I was nothing to do there in Pennsylvania. I am not a member of football team. I am not a member of baseball team. Both. But I could do so as a football player, as a baseball player. He had nothing to do there. But he said, I have something to do there. That was collecting things. That was collecting things. Underline, there was one thing I could do, collect things. That was his hobby. So he did. And he did ever. In his whole life, he was collecting. Beginning in kindergarten, KG class, a bright collected butterflies. Underline, kindergarten, a bright collected butterflies. With the same determination that has marked all his activities. So he developed a hobby of collecting butterflies. If we think it is not much important, because little children, it is a time of autumn, it is a time of flowers. There will be a lot of butterflies and bees on these flowers. So little children run after the butterflies to catch. So it is a common thing that we see around us. So we won't see something new in this sentence. He was, as a small child of 3 or 4 years, he was collecting butterflies. With the same determination that has marked all his activities. He also collected rocks, small pebbles, rocks, fossils, and coins. So he had the hobby of collecting butterflies, small rocks, rocks here means pebbles, coins, and fossils. He became an eager astronomer too. Sometimes star gazing all night. Underline, astronomer. Sometimes what happens, the boy would go out of the room and he would sit on the veranda and he would look at the stars like this for a long time. He was watching the stars. When are we watching the stars, Melvin? When are we watching the stars? When we fight with the parents, isn't it?
At night.
Am I right? When we fight with the parents, what we will do? We will go out of the room and we will sit outside and looking at the stars. But here, a bride had a hobby of watching the stars like an astronomer. So what are his hobbies? Hobby of collecting coins, collecting fossils, collecting rocks, collecting butterflies, and gazing stars, looking at stars as an astronomer. This is the nature of the little boy, a bride. From the first He had a driving curiosity. Driving curiosity means intense desire. Intense desire. I-N-T-E-N-S-E. Intense. Serious desire. Intense desire. Driving curiosity along with a bright mind. You see, both these are the basis of inventions. The basis of invention, a curious mind, an intelligent mind, curious desire, earnest desire, ardent desire. All these are there. And Mary, earnest desire, E-E-E-A-R-N-E-S-T, earnest desire, ardent desire, A-R-D-E-N-T, ardent desire, consistent desire, consistent, C-O-N-S-I-S-T-E-N-T, consistent desire, everlasting desire, a strong desire, our language, a strong desire, a firm desire, a relentless desire, a relentless desire, an untiring desire. It is needed for success, and little brain also, little bright brain. If these are two, you will work. Brightness of the brain, sharpness with desire, curiosity to reach. That is the basis of a scientist. So here you see, from the first, he had a driving curiosity underlined, along with a bright mind, underline that line. He also had a mother, underline. You see the difference? He also had, how many mother you have? Here it is written, you see, he also had a mother. If you make the reading stop there, it is a problem. Clear now? If you stop the sentence there, if you put a full stop, the a mother will have a different meaning. Clear now? Understand? If you put a full stop there, that mother will have a different meaning. He had a mother. That means others have two mothers. A mother means one mother, isn't it? Indefinite article A means one. He had a mother. He had a laptop. That means how many laptops? One laptop. He had a mother, full stop. Whether people have two or three mothers? That question arises. But here you see, nothing is there. Comma is not there, full stop is not there. He also had a mother. What kind of mother? Who encouraged his interest in learning. The quality of mother. A mother who encouraged, promoted. You see, do you follow me? A mother who promoted him. Learning. In the first classes, I told you, till last year you were, do you remember? Till last year you were studying. Now you are studying. Begin to learn. I told you. You might not have attended my words at that time. I have told you, stop studying, begin learning. What is the difference between studying and learning? For the past years, Madra, for the past years you studied and you have produced in the answer sheet. Whatever you have studied, you have given to the answer sheet. And what happened? Your brain became empty. Empty. In the half yearly, what did you do? Again you studied first unit test portion and other portion also. That you had already studied 1 month before. Then why did you study again? Because whatever you have studied, you have omitted on the answer sheet. And once we vomit, our belly will be empty, isn't it? Our stomach will be empty. Am I right? Vomit? Don't you vomit? Vomit? When we vomit something, everything will be coming out and stomach will be empty. So in examinations, we were doing this omitting of what we have studied. So every examination, we will read again and again the same thing, and again we will omit on the answer sheet. So what happens after the examination? Our brain will be empty. Do you understand my point? Now I ask you to learn, my dear, my sweet children. I love you so much. Please let me see your face, smiling, cute, beautiful face. These people are not beautiful and handsome. You are beautiful. You open it. Yes. So, learning process means you are absorbing everything into your brain. And when the exam comes, you are giving the photocopy. Original is here. Keeping the original in the brain, you are giving the photocopy. As many photocopy you will give, you can give. For unit test, you want? Yes, one Xerox, given to Xerox. Original is here. Half yearly comes, Xerox. Second unit test, Xerox. Annual examination, Xerox. You are going to +1, 10 the portion is there itself. It is not gone. So in +1, teacher asks, have you studied this? Yes, miss, we have studied. Now what do you say? I have studied or not? Doubt. Because you had already emptied. You see here, a bright, a scout became a scientist because he followed learning. He followed learning. So begin learning. So he had a mother who was promoting him in his studies. Do you have such a mother? Do you have such a mother? You have a mother always asks you, Mole, Mone, my son, my daughter, did you study? Did you complete your homework? Did you do the work? Did you study? Did you revise? We have a mother who promotes our studies also. If your mother is not promoting you, you can read this sentence to your mother. You can, Mama, Joseph is told to read this sentence. Ebright had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. Ebright became a scientist. I also want to become a scientist. Will you promote me? Will you encourage me? So Mama will encourage you. See? Underline, he also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips. Picnic. Corona picnics. Eh? She took him on picnics, tours, trips. Bought him telescopes, underline, took him on trips. One, what all she did? Brought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials, and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. Other equipment, underline, other equipment. Many people would say other equipments. My dear students, should I tell you again to switch on? I am stopping the class. I am stopping the class. I wish to stop the class. What are the obedient ones today? Let you open, then I will start. Afsana, Pratyush, Johan, Surya Das, Fia, open the video. In this paragraph, we have seen how did the mother help him? How did the mother help a bride to develop a scientist in him? How did? You can put a curly bracket on right side. On right side, you can put a double bracket or curly bracket. There you write, how did mother help a bride? How she was taking him for trips. She bought him telescopes, microscope, cameras, mounting materials, and other equipment. I was telling this one at that time. I saw this black marks. There is no plural form for equipment. Don't say equipments. Don't say other equipment. It's for plural also. We use equipment. Don't write s in order to make it plural. Okay. In the same way, luggage. Don't say luggages. Luggage. In the same way, don't say furnitures. It's a plural, is also furniture. So don't add s to make plural to these three words: luggage, furniture, and equipment. It has no plural form. Okay, the rest we will see in the next class.